All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. And this video is very important because after I test drove the 10-speed Mustang Mach 1 and compared it to my 2024 Mustang GT, holy shit. Oh, I feel it squat, yeah. It's time that I compare it to my Shelby GT350. This is gonna be a very important video because I know a lot of people are up on the fence on whether they should pick up a Mach 1 or a Shelby GT350. And now that I have driven both, granted the Mach 1 was a 10R80, I feel like it's a perfect time to compare the two. If you guys enjoy, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Now the best thing about this is you really can't go wrong no matter what route you choose because both cars are fantastic for what they. Now let's go ahead and get a cold start. It looks like it was raining a little bit outside earlier, but it's all good, man. I was gonna wash my car yesterday, glad I didn't. 3, 2, 1. One of my tires went down to 16 PSI, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that 93 octane. Gonna be putting this bad boy back on E85 very shortly. You already know we gotta do our pre-flight check every time we get in the car. Woo. Now I'm gonna let this car warm up a little bit and then we'll be on our way. We're gonna have kind of a dual POV here. So we're gonna have the regular POV and then we're gonna have the face cam toward me so we can talk about some important topics. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is my 2016 Shelby GT350. As you guys can hear right now, as you guys heard from the cold start, this car does have a Pro Charger on it. D1SC Pro Charger, 8 pounds of boost, 93 octane. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be commenting, for those of you who are new to the channel, man, how can you compare a Pro Charged Shelby GT350 that's making 700 horsepower to a Mach 1 that has essentially bolt-ons? Well, let me explain. I bought this Shelby GT350 100% stock. I've had it stock for a month, and then it was a bolt-on E85 car for well over a year. So I know how a stock GT350 feels, I know how a bolt-on GT350 feels, and obviously now I know how a pro-charged Shelby GT350 feels. So I've experienced it all, so I know exactly what a handling S550 should be like. And I'm gonna tell you guys this right now, I'm a manual guy, man. I mean, when I bought my X650, you know, I was originally gonna get a 10-speed, but you know, I decided to get the manual, even though it's the MT82, realistically isn't all that bad. That goes to show you that I'm a manual type of guy. I like the road gears. I like to have that connection to the vehicle. But I'm also not gonna lie, that 1080 Mach 1 was very, very nice. Now, if we're gonna compare the Mach 1 to the Shelby GT350, the Mach 1 that I drove with the 10-speed, that car had a little bit of suspension work done. It rode very, very, very nice. Now, again, it is a handling Mustang, so I'm just gonna go on the assumption that a stock Mach 1 is gonna handle very, very nice as well, because this car stock also handled very, very nice. And obviously, I haven't done any suspension work besides change the tires, which isn't suspension work, but I'm now running a Mickey Thompson ET Street SS on the back. It still handles very, very well. Now, what I am going to say after driving that 1080 Mach 1 versus me driving a Shelby GT350 stock, bolt-on, and now boosted, the Mach 1 felt like it was a smoother ride. The Shelby GT350 felt a lot more raw. It gives you that kind of obviously race car-esque feel, which is exactly what this car is designed to feel like. I mean, you're not buying a Shelby GT350. You're also really not buying a handling Mach 1 for it to ride, you know, like a daily commuter. It's not supposed to feel like a regular GT. I have an S650 GT and it rides like a cloud, like a dream. It is probably one of the best daily drivable cars I've ever been in. I've driven in heavy rain. I've driven in like really bad conditions out here in Houston. I mean, it gets real bad out of nowhere. Man, this is bad, dude. Like, I can't even see like the freeway dividers. That's how hard it's raining, and that's how much water is on the road right now. The feeder, it's flooded. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like the off ramp, I can see it right now. It might not show up on the camera because it's like all washed out, but it's literally flooded out right now. So I know exactly how this car is supposed to feel, and I also know exactly how the S650 is supposed to feel, you know, compared to a more handling focused vehicle. The Mach 1 felt a lot smoother. So if you're looking for a softer ride, if you're looking for a car that is gonna be... All right, sorry about that, y'all. I got a little distracted. As I was saying, the Mach 1 felt a lot softer if we're gonna be talking about just drivability on a day-to-day basis. So if you're looking for a Mustang that has that track-focused identity, but you're also looking for something that you can essentially day-to-day drive, daily drive it if you wanted to, maybe the Mach 1 Mustang is for you. Now, for me personally, if you're looking for a vehicle that is gonna have that raw feel, let's say that you're coming from a New Edge Mustang, specifically a Terminator Cobra, or you're coming from a Boss 302, or you're coming from a 1314 GT500, and you're looking for, you know, that raw Mustang that still has, you know, its true identity toward it, as well as a little bit more tech, the Shelby GT350 110% is going to be the vehicle for you. 110%. Now, my previous cars were, I had a 2013 Scion FRS. I had also a 2-valve Mustang that, you know, I modified pretty heavily, and, you know, I raced. So all the previous cars that I owned were cars that had that raw feel. The FRS was not fast at all, but it's like a miniature go-kart. It's designed to be driven literally at 110% all the time, taking corners at like 70, 80 miles an hour. It is a driver's car. The 2-valve Mustang, you know, it's a raw feel. If you've ever driven a New Edge Mustang, it's raw. It's literally just like going straight. That's it. So when I went ahead and bought my Shelby GT350, this was actually the first S550 Mustang I've ever been in. First one I've ever driven, for that matter. And I knew this is exactly what I wanted, because I was not gonna be happy, for me personally, with any other Mustang in the S550 lineup, and honestly in the S197 lineup as well. I know the 13, 14 GT500s are badass, but I wanted like the full package. I wanted a car that felt like a race car, had the nice creature comforts, but also just had that rawness to it. And that's exactly what the Shelby GT350 is, man. That's literally what this is. And I love it. I love it, man. And adding boost to it just made it 1,000 times more fun. Literally 1,000 times more fun. Oil tip is now warmed up, so we can go ahead and, you know, and start driving this bad boy. Woo. So I'm still trying to be smart about it. It's still a Mustang, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta be smart about it. It don't matter what you got, a Mach 1, a Shelby GT350, you gotta be smart about it. Woo! I mean, there is nothing like banging your own gears and hearing that 5.2 liter Voodoo, man. Oh my God. Woo! Now I'm also gonna add one thing that I do like about the Shelby GT350, and I know some people are going to enjoy it as well. This car does not have, you know, the automatic rev match. You're gonna have to do it yourself. I love it. There's something about the automatic rev match, at least in the S650s. I don't know about the S550s, but it's probably the same feature. It doesn't hit the same, man. It doesn't hit the same. The automatic rev match, it just sounds better in the S650 versus manually doing it. But in the S550, specifically the Shelby GT350, because it doesn't have that feature, just the downshifts, it is a different feel, y'all. I'm telling you this right now. This is a raw driver's car. So again, if you're looking for a vehicle that you just want to get into that has like its true identity still attached to it, the Shelby GT350 is something you want to go for. But if you want a little bit more comfort, because in my personal opinion, the only way to spec out a Shelby GT350 is with the Recaro seats. With those Mach 1s, I see a lot of people getting the regular comfort seats and getting the 10R80 transmission. I've seen way more 10R80 Mach 1s versus the Tremec Mach 1s, and I think that goes to show you what a majority of fellas are buying that car for. They're buying it to have that performance and track aspect, but they still want to have the creature comforts and the daily drivability. You can still daily drive a Shelby GT350, but I feel like the Mach 1 would be a way easier vehicle to do that in, because just how it's set up, and just from my own personal experience from driving one, specifically with the 10-speed. What is going on right now?
A few moments later.
All right, we're out that rush hour traffic. I don't know what's going on, man. Brother's trash out today, but there's hella cars. She dirty, but she still look good, in my opinion. Carbon fiber hood still hidden in this low light. Like I said, we got the Mickey Thompson ET Street SS tires, and this car is still handling in wet weather. I mean, really can't go wrong, man. Really can't go wrong. Whew. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and use this time to talk about some of the things that I've had to maintenance on my Shelby GT350. For those of you who have Mach 1 Mustangs, or, you know, might be thinking about getting a Mach 1 Mustang over a Shelby GT350, it's only fair if I talk about, you know, the good as well as some of the annoying things I've had to deal with this car. But again, no vehicle is perfect. You're gonna have to maintenance every single car you own. Now, we're gonna talk about oiling, because I know that's a big thing about Shelby GT350s. Mine is a 2016 Shelby GT350. It has the Gen 1 Voodoo. Now, currently, I actually do not have any oil consumption with my car. I change my oil every 2,000 miles. When I was in a bolt-on E85, I always changed it every 2,000 miles. It was just something that I was just more comfortable doing. And I always check my oil every 300 or so miles. Now, because I am supercharged on 93 octane, I still change my oil every 2,000 miles. And I also check my oil every couple hundred miles or so. So like every like 250, 300 still is when I'm gonna be checking my oil. Just to go ahead and be, you know, better safe than sorry. You know, even though I've had no excessive oil loss, I still want to go ahead and make sure that I'm on top of maintenance. I'll have my windows rolled up a little bit so y'all can hear. Now, some other things I've had to go ahead and deal with a Shelby GT350, specifically it being a Gen 1 Shelby GT350, is I've had the issue with my oil filter spinning off one time. Now, I thought it was 2 times, but it was only 1 time. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the other instance where I had an oil leak. Now, with the Gen 1 Shelby GT350s, you need to make sure that you are torquing your oil filters down. If you have a 2016, torquing your oil filters down to 16 to 18 foot-pounds. Otherwise, it can spin off. Now, I've had that happen before because the shop that I took it to did not go ahead and torque it down properly, so it spun off after about 1,500 miles. Not all the way, but it did back out a little bit to where there was oil dripping, and I had to go ahead and get that replaced. Luckily, I was able to catch it early on, and considering the fact that it happened at 1,500 miles on that specific oil change, I just went ahead and changed the oil and filter. Now, the second time that I had an oil leak was actually when my oil pan gasket failed. Right there, I mean, it's leaking right now. Now, I caught this, luckily, early on. Actually, same amount of miles. Like I believe it was like 15 to 1,700 miles, maybe a little bit more. But that's actually a common recall on the 2016 through 2018 Shelby GT350. So, if you have a 2016 to 2018 Shelby GT350, you're thinking about picking one of those up, check the Carfax on it, check the service records to see if that was done. If not, it might be a good idea just to get it done as a precaution, because it's one of those things where once it starts to leak, you got to get it addressed. fast ASAP, and you don't want to get stranded an hour away and have to pay for a tow truck, and on top of that, you know, all the labor to get that done if you're not going to do it yourself. So that's something that I want you guys to know when going ahead and picking up a Shelby GT350. Now, some other kind of like minor things is, you know, my exhaust. Sometimes it doesn't let me actually switch the modes. I believe that's actually an issue on like all S550 cars. It has to do with, you know, the active exhaust actuator going bad. Mine did it intermittently, and it hasn't happened in like a week. So fingers crossed that, you know, it was just a bug, a tweak, and it hasn't happened again. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen again, because that's something that I know can happen. Whew, I really hope you guys can hear me, man, because I got my window up now, but I didn't have it up previously. Whew. Man, this car is just so fun to drive, bro. Like, it's, you guys don't understand. Like, I know some people are saying, oh, don't supercharge the Shelby GT350, guys. Like, even like this is one of those vehicles where you don't even have to drive it fast. You can just cruise it. Woo, we got a pop. And it is still super fun to drive. But honestly, can you imagine how crazy a 10 or 80 Mach 1 would be with boost? Ooh, that's something I actually want to drive, man. That would be like an ultimate street car if you didn't want to roll your own gears, man. Literally. Because I feel like the Shelby GT350 Supercharged is such a good street car, because you get the 700 horsepower, you can make obviously more, you get the Tremec manual, and you still get that handling aspect. So you can do everything and some. And with that Mach 1, you get all that, a little bit more comfortability, and the 10 or 80 if you choose to do it. Because you can't get a 10 or 80 Shelby GT350. It'd be crazy, man. Obviously, because I'm a manual guy, I'm gonna go with the Tremec, but I kind of want to experience that. I really do. I really, really, really do. Woo! I really hope you guys can hear me. This car is loud. Catless long tube headers. Excuse me. Bluetooth headers. Ford X-Pipe. The Ford X-Borla active mufflers. So pretty much the stock mufflers. Pops, bangs. Shoots flames. Pro-charge this car, because you get the Voodoo sound, the Pro-Charger whistle, like, man. Bop, 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 bop. Wish it wasn't like as many cars out, man, so I can open it up. But you know, I had some pulls in the intro, but man, this thing is a car, like literally the Shelby GT350 and the Mach 1, like two Mustangs any Ford enthusiast need to drive or own. You can't go wrong with either or. You really can't. But if it was up to me, you gotta get the Shelby GT350. You know what I'm saying? That Voodoo, man. All right, back at the casa. It actually just started to rain again. Let me know down in the comment section, man. Shelby GT350 or the Mach 1? What vehicle are you choosing? Remember, you can't go wrong with either or. Both are great cars. But if you like the raw feel, the Trimix 6-speed, you can't go wrong with the good old Shelby GT350. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.